Okay, let's dive right in. Ever just wonder what would happen if you could pluck an ancient Roman philosopher out of the past and drop them right into the 21st century? Forget all the time travel stuff for a second and let's talk about something, really important. What car would they drive? Today, we're kicking off a pretty fun thought experiment, connecting some of history's greatest minds with today's electric vehicle tech.
So, yeah, that's the big question here. If the Stoics, these absolute masters of inner peace and rational thought, needed to, say, run some errands, what kind of EV would they pick? And the answer isn't about horsepower or fancy features. No, it's all about their philosophy.
And we're going to zero in on two absolute giants of Stoicism, who really couldn't be more different. On one hand, you've got Seneca, a brilliant, fabulously wealthy advisor and playwright. And on the other, Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on the planet, the emperor of Rome, who saw his power less as a perk and more as a heavy, heavy duty.
All right, first up, Seneca, the frugal futurist. He's a really complex guy. He preached simplicity while also being one of the richest men in Rome. A total futurist, though, both in his thinking and, as you're about to see, in his choice of car.
So what's his ride? All signs point to the Tesla Model 3. I mean, think about it. It's sleek, it's forward-thinking, and it represents a total break from the past. Sound like anyone we know?
Now, I know what you're thinking. A Tesla? Isn't that a bit flashy for a Stoic? But hold on. For Seneca, this wouldn't be about showing off. The reasoning is pure philosophy. It's not about status, it's all about substance.
Okay, so for Seneca, this choice is just logical. First off, a core Stoic idea is to live according to nature. A quiet, zero-emissions car, that checks the box, right? He was always railing against useless noise and showing off. So the silent hum of an EV versus a roaring gas engine, no contest. It's the perfect little bubble for thinking, for meditating. And get this, there's even a modern idea named after him, the Seneca effect, about how systems can collapse way faster than they build up. He'd totally see an EV as a rational way to pump the brakes on our environmental decline.
And this quote right here, it just nails his whole mindset. He believed our most precious resource is time. A loud, clunky, vibrating engine? To him, that would just be another pointless distraction, another way we waste the little time we have. For Seneca, silence isn't just golden, it's efficient.
But yeah, his life was complicated, full of contradictions. I mean, he was the tutor for the one and only Emperor Nero, trying to shape him into a good ruler. And for a little while, about 5 good years, it actually seemed to be working. But, well, we all know how that story ends. Nero accused him of conspiracy and ordered him to commit suicide, a death he faced with that classic Stoic composure. Just incredible.
Okay, let's switch gears to our second philosopher, Marcus Aurelius, the emperor. And unlike Seneca, who was an advisor, kind of on the sidelines, Marcus was the guy. He was right at the center of it all. And for him, everything, and I mean everything, came down to one single word: duty. And you can see that in his choice of car. No flashy, futuristic tech for the emperor. Nope. Marcus Aurelius would be driving a Volvo EX90. Why? Because it's serious, it's safe, and it's all about responsibility.
So why the big switch from a techie Tesla to a super safe Volvo? Well, for Marcus, a car is not some personal fashion statement. It's a tool that exists in a community, and its main job has to be serving the greater good. The emperor's thinking is all about the big picture. He saw every single person as part of this giant interconnected whole, the cosmos. So from his point of view, polluting the air we all share, that's not just bad, it's illogical, it's antisocial. He was all about minimalism and efficiency, not luxury. A car brand that just screams safety would line up perfectly with his deep, deep respect for protecting human life. And the amazing thing is, we know exactly how he thought, because of his famous work, Meditations. But get this, it was never meant to be a book. It was his private journal. He wrote it for himself, in Greek, while he was in a military tent on the front lines of a brutal war. It was literally his personal toolkit for how to stay sane and be a good person when everything is falling apart. And believe me, the pressure was on. His entire time as emperor was just one crisis after another. We're talking constant wars, a horrifying plague that killed millions of people, and on top of all that, just the soul-crushing weight of being the most powerful man in the world. So for him, Stoicism wasn't some academic idea. It was a flat-out survival mechanism.
And his legacy is so huge, you can literally find him in your pocket right now if you're in Europe. That famous statue of him on his horse, it's right there on the Italian 50-cent euro coin.
And here's a crazy fun fact. The only reason we even have that incredible statue today is because, back in the Middle Ages, people thought it was a statue of Constantine, the first Christian emperor. If they'd known it was Marcus Aurelius, it almost certainly would have been melted down for the bronze. Talk about a lucky break for history, right?
So, there you have it. Two Stoics, heading down the same road to living a good life, but driving totally different cars. Let's just put them side by side for a second.
And yeah, the difference is pretty stark. You've got Seneca, whose whole thing is reason and living according to nature. So for him, an EV is about cutting out waste and chaos. That puts him in the Tesla. Then you've got Marcus Aurelius. His core value is the common good. So an EV is about being in harmony with everyone else, with the whole planet. That puts him in the Volvo. But at the end of the day, both of their choices point back to the same big Stoic idea, driving with purpose. You see, it's not really about what car you're in. It's about why you chose it. It really just boils down to two different ways of looking at the world. For Seneca, the motivation is personal virtue, it's rational efficiency, making the smartest, calmest choice for his life. For Marcus Aurelius, the motivation is communal duty, it's sober responsibility, making the best choice for everyone. Two very different paths, but both of them are 100% Stoic. And that brings us to the final question, which is really the one they'd want us to think about. So, forget the cars for a second. Think about the philosophy behind them. When you make a big choice, what's your guiding star? Is it your own personal reason and efficiency, or is it your duty to the people around you, to the community? So what drives you?